What is good, ladies and gents? UKFN Ninja. I hope you're all doing well. And the last 6 or 7 months have been fun. Just guess a quick question. Got crazier since the last video or not? Leave it up to you to decide whether you think it's got crazier or not. See it all coming. It's all coming. Anyway, hope you're all doing well and had some relaxing time off and whatever, and all getting ready to start germinating seeds and planting seeds out and gardens ready and so on and so forth. And as every year, all the very best to everyone who is growing. I hope that you get large crops that are with tasty buds. I've kind of spent maybe the last 3 or 4 months in a perpetual loop of being persistently stoned from going to sleep to waking up in the morning. Be that a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. It's your own take on things. But I don't feel any worse for it. I feel better for it. It's after all a healing medicinal herb. So yeah, it's been relaxing and fun, I guess. Watching the crazy shit of the world go by. It's only going to get more interesting yet. Just wait and you will see. So yeah. So this year, we are again going to do things a little bit differently. As per the kind of, I guess, first video that I put up for this season, what plants am I going to grow? See, basically YouTube is running it's like an image database, shall we say, and they don't need to even watch your video to age restrict it. All they have to do is let the video pass through the algorithm. It sees the shapes of the leaves and the buds and it recognizes it and goes, that there is cannabis, adult. So when that happens, obviously, to watch a video, YouTube then demands that you provide them with a copy of your driver's license and or passport. Do not give YouTube your fucking driver's license and copy of passport. Like, don't do it. You will live to regret that. They will have your identity on their file. They're a private company run by Google who are, well, they're a pretty good company, I think. They confess the Lord, don't they? I mean, they're definitely not Satanists or nothing with their 666 chrome symbol or anything, but, you know, alphabet from A to Z, from cradle to grave. Well, fuck you. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, because of that, I'm not exactly sure whether I'm really going to put that up on here in a bit. People's apologies for that. It appears there's quite a considerable number of teenagers wandering around, which is a bit weird, but I mean, I guess it's better than them sitting indoors playing on computer games and shit to be walking around outside with their friends and stuff. So can't really complain about teenagers being outside in the countryside anyway. It's probably a good thing. So yeah, if I can keep the train of thought for more than 5 seconds. Yeah, so YouTube and passports and driver's license just literally just don't do that shit. That is coming across the board for just about everything. The online harms bill will, if it passes, which it's likely to do, because, you know, if you haven't noticed the world at the moment, they can pretty much just break the law with impunity and do as they will, because it is his time, he is coming. So it must be. So yeah, I wouldn't play into that shit if I was you, but it's your choice, whatever. And also probably establish the ground rules of if I say you, I don't literally mean you on the other side of the screen. It's just my poor English. I'm not accusing you on the other side of the screen of anything. So don't take anything that I say to be an offence or something personally directed at you on the other side of the screen. It's as I say, my poor command of the English language. So anyway, we'll change things up this year because YouTube are fun. YouTube have like age restricted pretty much everything. So when it comes to watching anything on here about growing just about anything, they're just blocking it. They've even started going through some of these videos where all it is just me walking and talking, and they've been deleting those videos, like actually deleting them, not putting them as like mature content or whatever. Anyway, that's YouTube's on the game. So yeah, we're going to do things a little bit different this year. Like probably many people who try to invent the wheel, it's already been done, and there's a reason why things are the way they are, is because they work. So all of those little white bags and all of the stuff that I've been doing I've just been overcomplicating it, making things more difficult than it needs to be. There's a reason why seedling trays are there. It's because they're just easier than filling up those little tiny bags with stuff. It just, like, you know, rather than reinventing the wheel, just use what's already there because it's there for a reason. It's lasted because it's like the wheel. No point reinventing it. So I got I got a grand total of about 4 seedlings germinated out of some 200 plus that I've got in little seedling trays, and we are going to do something different because someone might be asking, well, Ranger, you took such a fucking long time to dig all those holes, how are you going to dig 200? I mean, I think last year I dug a total of 30 holes, and that was a fucking mission, and anyone who's dug holes will know how much of a mission that is. So saying something like 200 plants is like, well, how are you going to dig that many holes? Because we're going to do things a bit different. So I am screwed, really. My back is bad, and even with the cutter that I got, that kind of post hole cutter thing that I got, even with that, it's still too much. It's like I'm gonna make myself a paraplegic basically if I carry on. So I need to do things in a way that is going to not aggravate my back and make it worse. So we have come up with a plan which will allow us to quite easily dig that many holes by using machinery. So I have got a couple of new tools, and in many ways, back right at the start of this, I had seen someone do exactly this, and he titled this video Guerrilla Grower How To or something like that. Absolutely nothing to do with the plants that we grow. He was planting fruit trees, but I'm going to mimic the same thing that he did. I'll probably put a link in the description if anyone wanted to go watch that video and see what I mean. But yeah, I'm going to do what he does, and I'm going to literally drop 200 odd seedlings everywhere in patches. I've got transportation management sorted out. I have then taken a leaf out of professionals' books. If you've watched the real Guerrilla seeds, those guys, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing far more than me. I'm a rank noob amateur in comparison to those guys. But I'm going to take a leaf out of their book. I watched I watched one of their seasonal grow videos. I liked the beginning of it, and I thought, that there is absolutely spot on. And if you've seen the start of their videos where they've all met up at the beginning, what they're wearing and what's in their hands and what they look like and what they definitely don't look like, you'll get the drift of what I'm on about. So we are going to be doing some role playing, and we are going to be doing some work, shall we say, some work out here. So we've got some bits and pieces on the way for that, and that should give me pretty much carte blanche access to just about anything, and anyone who sees me will just go, must be someone working. So hopefully it'll work out. We'll find out, won't we, at the end of the season how well it actually goes, because as much as I plan now doesn't necessarily mean it will come to any kind of fruition at the end. So we obviously did quite well last season. I managed to fill up all of the jars that I had, and had to buy, I think, 3 more jars in addition to that, and filled those ones up as well. My supply now, after all of that, is I think I've got about maybe 2 full jars left, if that. I'm thinking less than if that. So I'm gonna grow some tobacco as well, because I grew some last year and obviously had no clue what the hell it was that I was doing. So this season I'll grow it a little bit better, and with the prices of things and stuff becoming unavailable, I would imagine it probably might be a good idea just to grow my own tobacco as well. It's completely legal to do. The only thing that you can't do is you can't sell it, obviously, because HMRC will throw their shit out the pram. So probably not that I sell anything. It's everything that I grow is just for my own consumption. It's my medicine that I use, and rightly or wrongly, I smoke it with tobacco. It's how I prefer it. Everyone has their own different tastes. I don't know. I've always smoked weed with tobacco. It's just that's how it's always been done here in the UK. I'm sure there's people like, no, I smoke it pure, but I mean, at street level prices, smoking a pure joint is probably only for the real rich. It's like fucking 20 quid for 1.5 or something like that now, if not more than that. So, you know, you smoke a pure joint, that's one joint for like 30 quid basically. So each their own if you've got that kind of money, and crack on. But I'll just go out myself and have whatever the Lord provides. So so I'm going to change things up a bit. We're going to go about the place. We're going to find lots of different locations, and we're going to see what happens. I guess the rule of averages is that if I throw out enough of them, at least one of them will survive. So concept idea really is going around locations where you would expect my type of act to be around. So anyone who would see me would think, oh, it must be something to do with that. So being a little bit mystic, but at the same time, like, I don't obviously want to outright say exactly what it is that I'm doing, because then, you know, someone can put 2 and 2 together and come up with, I don't know, 98 or something. So anyway, we'll see how it goes this season, and see how well everything goes. Oh man, like, yes, well, it's that time, I'm afraid. That time is coming, and I don't know, maybe I don't know why this stuff was shown to me and why my eyes were opened up, but I can't close them now, and my ears open, I can't not hear now, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I struggled with it for some time as to, like, was it better to know this, or was it worse to know this? Would I prefer to go back to not knowing it? and I wouldn't want to go back to being blind and deaf again, but it's really hard. It's not easy when you look upon the world with eyes that see and ears that hear, and it's like he says, like, the world hated me first and you chose to want to follow me, so prepare to be hated too. So it is what it is. We might end up with might just be me out here on my own, and that's what he said. Just like, if you can't follow me because of the world, then the world has you, and everything that's in the world will pass away. There's nothing you can take with you, and even if you could take it with you, it's all written down for fire. It will be ash at the end anyway, but that's a long way away yet. Still got to go through the whole 1,000 years yet, so that's at the end of that. So it's a way away, but still it doesn't change the fact that it's all destined for ash. So you can't take anything with you. There's no one's going to be there like when you draw your last breath. And well, anyway, it's hard. It's a hard walk, my friends. It's a hard walk. It's not easy. Anyway, we've got some peoples again, so in a bit. That time there was a bunch of Duke of Edinburgh kids. Impressed, I guess, to still see people doing. I never did that, but it's I guess still kudos to them for coming out and sleeping out here in the wild and doing the orienteering part of it. That dude is a great guy with kids, so anyway, whatever. That's not my judgment, that's his judgment. My judgment is the only judgment that I need to concern myself with, because it'll be my book that gets opened, it'll be my book that gets read from, and from that book I'll be judged, not from anyone else's. So what someone else does is immaterial to me. I can merely say maybe you shouldn't do that, and if they choose not to, it's their own choice. This is a hard walk. I wonder why. It was very surreal, a thing, and I don't know, from who I was to who I am now. Maybe, I guess it might make sense in some way, shape or form, from taking that which is wicked and forging it into something that which is good. Don't know, but it's pertinent to remember that there is not one single one of us here on this earth that is righteous, and anything that we think is righteous is dirty rags. So it doesn't matter how good you think you are or how well you're thinking you're doing, it's still not enough. And it's remembering that forgiveness is there because of that. And anyway, each have to make their own choice in life and walk their own path. So what you choose is what you choose, and what you get is what you get. So I just wonder whether it's like, I can't tell you, the Lord doesn't speak to me and tell me to tell you something. The Lord just opened my eyes to Him and my ears to Him, that I might hear and see. That's all. Nothing more than that. I don't know anything more than anyone else. The Lord doesn't speak to me like He spoke to Samuel or to David or to Saul or to any of those before. So don't think for a second that I'm in any way, shape or form better or more or have something that you don't. It's just He opened my eyes and my ears, and I listened, and I was baptized, and I accepted Him as my Lord and Saviour. So when that happened, things I thought would be something. It was just like any other day, but I could now see and hear, which I couldn't before. See and hear things in a way that's different to how I could see them before. And now it's really, really obvious. Like, they don't even care anymore. They're just outright open in your face, all about their shit. Can you do you imagine? I'm talking like kind of to the people of England here, really. The Spice Girls. How sweet candy coated Spice Girls has changed into full-on goth satanic like music videos for the same like category of music. Like, it's just open, like they don't even care anymore. It's because his time's short, so he's got to maximise this time before he's chained up and thrown in a pit. So he's going to do that. He's going to maximise his time, and he's going to try and push as much of the evilness and wickedness into the world. And the Lord said that when that time comes, he will take away his protection from us, and we will be overcome by him. So I hope that any of you who maybe are walking on this same walk, maybe you're not aware, maybe you are aware of it, but in that time he takes his protection from the earth, because for this period of time he has to allow Satan, his man of perdition, to fulfill that which has to come. It's exactly like childbirth is how he explains it. It's like the travailing of a woman in childbirth. No one, I don't think there's any person who's watching this who's had a child would say, do you know what, childbirth's amazing, like the contractions, sweet, I loved it when it crowned, like that was amazing, like look at all the pictures we've got, come on everybody, let's gather around and look at this lovely, wonderful, remembering time. I don't think anyone does that, but they do once the child is here, not so much prior to. But yeah, you think of the sadness and the pain and the suffering, and then the joy of the child that's born. Same exactly as it will be. So we will go through this horrible period, maybe even perish in that time, but when you know that death is not the end and the resurrection is real, you know that you can't die. You know that it's merely just like cutting from here to the elsewhere to then come back here again, because that's what happens in the resurrection. You'll die and your feet will touch this ground once more, and you'll walk here and walk back on the earth again. Any person that's in your life that's died, or you think has died, they're not dead. No, they're not dead. They're coming back. They're either part of the first or the second resurrection, or either one of the two, but they'll walk here on the earth again. You'll see them. You'll shake their hands, and you'll say, wow, I didn't realise that was going to happen. But depending on the position to which you were in, the first resurrection will be a joy. The second resurrection, not so much. The resurrection is real. You will walk on the face of the earth once more, once you depart from the flesh. I just wonder whether it's obviously I'm doing this for the message of the Lord to anyone who will listen, that I might help in some way to increase the body of Christ, and also to document the fact that what I'm doing is not crime. I'm not hurting anyone. If there is no victim here, there's no crime. If there's no victim, so I wonder whether it is that he wants me to say these things and let you know, but I mean, I'm just telling you what's written. You choose to believe or read it yourself. The time is at hand, my friends. I'm not seeing the world. So many crazier. Bear it, hold down, hold on to the rocket, grab the rock. Anyway, so verse 1 is the message. There are so very many people who when the man of perdition comes, they'll think that the Lord is here, the Lord has returned. It's not him. It's not him. He must be preceded by the man of perdition first. It doesn't matter whether he looks like God. It does not matter whether he does miracles in your face. It does not matter whether he says that Jesus Christ. It does not matter what he does. He's preceded first by the man of lawlessness. He comes first. Don't let him deceive you. Don't think for 1 minute that that one who comes first is actually him, because it's not. It's not. It really is not. But when the whole world sees him, they're gonna marvel. I mean, like, you know, the whole world, they laughed at Noah. They laughed at him. He was building a boat in the middle of the dry land, hundreds of miles from the sea in all directions. And they laughed at him. He said, it doesn't rain from the sky. Water does not fall from the sky. You fool of a man. What are you doing building this boat? And then when the rain fell, oh boy, did they want to kick the door down of that boat and get on it. So you can say, like, you know, the people of the world haven't, like, you know, it's just fantasy and whatever. There's no evidence of God. God withdraws himself and has done so in order to make a big impression. And there's been many a time on the face of the earth where the whole world has known the Lord. Even like the most hardcore pagan cultures have been crumbled by the Lord, and they have said, that is the Lord, not our God, because there is only one God, and that's the God of Israel. Connotations of that place and all the rest of it. But if you have eyes to see, you'll see it and know and understand. Hey yo! Maybe smoking all day for 3 months, you could probably ease up a bit. Oh yeah, so anyway, I don't know what to do with YouTube anymore, really. It's a bit, well, it's all censored and it's controlled by them, and they don't want you to know this information, and well, anyway, so I might just put, like, you know, these type of videos up. This wind is so strong it's going to probably annihilate this audio. And give me a second and see if I can go somewhere less windy. Yeah, anyway, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to find anywhere less windy. I mean, it's slightly less windy here, but I won't really know how bad it is until I do the editing for this and upload it. Hopefully there's no, like, major screw ups with this. But anyway, we'll see how much sabotage we get. So yeah, like, I don't know, I might just put these types of videos up on YouTube and then put a link to Odyssey and do it that way. But to be honest with you, I think that anyone who really wants to listen to this stuff probably has already gone over to Odyssey to listen to it anyway. So, I mean, I don't know, it's like, it's like the world's just, well, it's picked up as he says it was. I don't know why I'm surprised in any way, shape or form. Shouldn't be surprised by these things. It's all the things that must come to pass. Yeah, anyway. So, what I'm looking at here, I've been up here a few times. I was thinking about this place, because getting here now and with this different workaround, shall we say, this could actually be quite viable up here. So, judging from just like observations, if you will. So these are obviously all dead stinging nettles here, all of these things, and these are all roughly at about 5 foot. They're below my neck, but some of them, like this one here is as tall as me. So this stinging nettles up this tall, and you can see them all starting to grow down there. So they're all going to get up to this type of height. So obviously means that even with the canopy, this is getting enough sun down here to grow all of these stinging nettles quite high. Not only that, because it's stinging nettles, they really make nitrogen-rich soil. They're really good at making very rich nitrogen soil. That's why you use stinging nettles for compost tea. So quite literally, all down here, with the stinging nettles up, like, I mean, these ones are higher than me, taller than me here, by, I don't know, by maybe nearly a foot. So they're obviously getting up big, and they're obviously able to survive here and grow that tall. So I could easily put like a fair few plants down along here. dotted around in this mix, and there's other bits down the other way as well. So like stuff like this is where I'm going to go. So rather than like dedicated gardens, the only obvious other observation that I notice is so we've got trees planted down here. It's just holly, so it's obviously just for a hedge. It's not actual trees for anything other than a boundary. And obviously I've seen deers just down in there, and additionally there's like deer poo, not so much up here, but to be honest with you, I would imagine if it's hidden in there and the stingers are all up, the stingers can still get deer and stuff like that, and they don't like it, so they're obviously not going to go just trampling through wherever they want. They're a bit like us, they're going to go where's comfortable for them or where's the easiest, unless of course they're trying to escape, where it's just life, run away, I don't want to die type situation. So I'm thinking like these types of locations dotted around, a couple little patches here, a couple little patches there, patches here, patches there, and just go knock them all in very, very quickly. I've got a special mix that I'm going to use in the soil when I break it all apart before I plant the seedlings. The only possible issue with this plan still remains this water being the main one. I mean, stinging nettles, there's obviously enough water there for life to be supported. Whether it's enough to grow large plants, I don't know, but stinging nettles is a good indication anyway. So if that's healthy and they grow quite tall, it should be quite good. It's more so the water for watering in the plants once they've been planted. I kind of came to this conclusion really that this is just a weed. It just grows like any other weed. It's not really particularly special in how it grows or goes. I can hear a quad bike. Just wondering if it's up in the fields up there or not. Could be up there. I mean, the farmers are coming out and doing stuff, so it's that time of year, so could be, might not be, who knows. I can hear it, but it's not over where I am anyway. So yeah, so that's the general plan, what I'm going to do. Chuck out shit tons of plants, see if I get one in return. If I get one in return, well, good days. If I get nothing, then I'll try again next year. Yeah. But yes, ladies and gents. I mean, realistically, everyone has to make their own judgment call on what it is that they're going to do in the coming times. It's not like the movies, as everyone can clearly see now. I think that the feed's not just going to disappear, the power's not just going to get turned off. They're going to do it in a systematic way where they can blame everyone for it. So, for example, a lot of people saying, oh, they're going to turn the power off, they're going to shut the power down, they're going to do this. I surmise, or would put another proposition forward, that they raise the prices so high that people can't afford it, so they turn the power off themselves, which decreases the demand for the fuel to supply the power, which then causes an issue with the supply chain, which then ultimately stops the power from flowing stably because of the fuel issues, because they don't know how much to buy because they can't sell it, and so on and so forth. So then they can, having manufactured this, can say it was your fault, you shouldn't have turned the power off. Because this game is about them being blameless. Like, they don't want to come out the other end being like to blame for this. That's why they warn everyone and they show everyone the truth in the most obscure, twisted, and just easily to go, wow, that's just a TV program, mate, type of way. But yet, time and time again, post the event that they were warning about, everyone comes out and goes, look, they warned us all. They did. They warned everyone. Oh, Thank you, Bush, for being so very helpful. well, that was sweet. I walked from all the way up that corner up there, all the way down to here, and it wasn't even recording. So I got no idea. I've got no idea where I ended on that one. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying I may not be able to grow in the backyard because after, I don't know, 2 years of doing it in the backyard, I think it's probably a bit bait to carry on, at least for this year anyway, because, you know, 3rd year and then might come knocking, so I won't do anything in the backyard other than germinations. And then basically I haven't put up like the 7-day germination cycle video that I normally do at the beginning of each season. That's again because I'm not growing them inside, they're all growing outside germinating, and literally the day after I put that video up it started to snow, and today, not being a particularly warm day, is the warmest day that's been so far. So I think I counted like 5 this morning that have just started to pop, of like, I don't know, well over 200, nearly 300 plants or seeds that I've sent to germinate. And the other thing that I was saying was about having to wait till possibly next season after this new style of growing to see where I can find a safe, secluded patch to do some breeding of these more expensive heirloom and landrace seeds that I've got, because each one of them will literally just be for breeding for the seeds. Then once I've got the first generation of those seeds, or first generation to me of those seeds anyway, because I've got no idea how many generations they are that I'm getting them, so I'll have to put them as first generation for me. Sorry, the wind is sweet. Sabotage. It wasn't this windy when I came out, now it is. Because they're literally just going to be for growing only, for seeds. And then once I've got the first generation seeds, I can distribute seeds out to anyone who would like any of the first generation of those, and I can then do drop patches like I'm doing with my own, the UKFN strains. So I hope everyone who got those seeds that I sent out last season enjoyed a smoke from them. I hope it wasn't too shabby. It's not like skunk or anything like that, but it's got a pretty potent high, just not in a, I don't know, knock you unconscious kind of way. It's like if you smoke too much of it, you'll pass out, like I've done many times. It's not mad enough to be able to smoke a joint and not get on with your day. Like, you could smoke a joint of it and be fine to carry on your day, whereas some of the more heavy strains you might smoke a joint and be like, nah man, just stay here. So it's not too bad. So I hope everyone who got the seeds enjoyed something from them, and it's worked out for them. And I think after I've done a couple of bombs of these seeds around, I'll probably give some more seeds out. I don't know, it really wasn't that many takers. Like, I was surprised. Like, I guess I won't take it as an offence, I'll just take it as I don't know, people subscribe to the channel but don't actually watch the video, and the few people who do are the ones that I've talked to and sent seeds out to. So anyway, mad respect to everyone who watches. I mean, I listen to it all, and again, I'm not no disrespect, don't mean any disrespect. Like, obviously everyone has the standard thing of, like, you know, like, comment and subscribe type situation. You can make a donation here, you know. I don't, obviously, as anyone has clearly seen, I don't do that. But if you want to support this channel, you're already doing it right now. You're doing everything you need to do to support this channel, so there's nothing more you need to do. This information is free, everything that I have is free. I ask nothing of anyone, and give what I have freely to whoever would ask. So I do as the Lord tells me, not because the Lord tells me to do it, but it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because He said it was to do, because it's how it works. I I'm only telling you goodness, I'm not telling you evil, and if you follow me it's easy. The world is hard, so anyway, we'll carry on, and this is probably a mega long video, I don't know, but I sometimes get asked to make longer videos, shorter videos, don't say this, say that, but, you know, mad respect to everyone who's watching, and wish you all the best this season, and I hope it goes well. There's some big fish that are going to be fighting and doing all of their stuff. We are merely but little fish, and the best thing you can do right now is be aware that the big fish are going to start clashing, and just get out of their way. The ocean's big, you can move out of their way. I wouldn't worry too much about any of the shit that they're saying. It's all just part of the deception, it's part of the fear. His time is short, that's why the world's gone crazy. Hold strong, you'll be good and you'll be fine. Anyway, it's UKFN Ninja, unfortunately about the wind. Until next time, see you all later.